When society collapses and the rules melt away, most people panic. They reach for what they know. Smartphones that don't charge, cars that don't start, expert advice they can't access. But here's the thing about the world ending. It strips away everything except the useful. And the skills that seem boring before collapse, the ones nobody bothers learning in the comfort of electricity and grocery stores, those become superpowers. We're not talking about action movie nonsense. We're talking about practical, everyday abilities that suddenly make the difference between survival and statistics. So let me walk you through the ones that actually matter. The ones that will keep you breathing when everything else falls apart. Skill 1. Finding and purifying water without a filter or a store. Water. Finding water surviving depends on locating it when you're lost and exhausted and running on fumes. Think like water. Follow the land. Water flows downhill, always. Find the lowest terrain point and follow it. Look for vegetation too. Plants cluster around water. If you see dense brush in a dry zone, water is probably close. Animals know this better than you do. Follow animal trails. They lead somewhere. Once you find water, don't just drink it. That water could kill you slower than bullets. Boiling is the standard. Get it hot enough to kill parasites and bacteria. No heat source. Use solar radiation. Fill a clear bottle and leave it in direct sunlight for 6 hours. The UV will kill most pathogens. Not perfect, but better than cholera. Scooping from the surface is asking for trouble. Go deeper. Dig a small hole near the water and let it fill. The sand and soil act like filters. It's better than surface water. Tablets help too if you have them. Iodine, chlorine dioxide, whatever you can scavenge. But tablets run out. Boiling never does. Water is life. Carrying it matters. Anything waterproof works. Bottles, cans, bags you can seal. Distribute the weight. One heavy container will break your back and your will. Skill 2. Starting fire without matches or a lighter in any condition. Fire. Every apocalypse movie shows someone struggling to light a fire with sticks. It's harder than it looks, but it's physics and preparation. Your first advantage is tinder. This is the driest material you can find. Dead grass, tree bark, cattail fluff, even pocket lint. Gather more than you think you need. Wet tinder is absolutely useless. Keep it waterproof. Your second advantage is a fire source. Friction works, but it's brutal and exhausting. A magnifying glass and sunlight is better. A battery and steel wool create sparks in seconds. A flint and steel work too. Hit them at the right angle, and you get sparks that ignite tinder. Practice before you need it because shaking hands and panic make every task harder. Stack your materials. Tinder first, finest material catches easiest. Then kindling, small twigs about the size of your pinky. Then larger wood. Fire needs oxygen, so don't pack it tight. Build it like a teepee with gaps. Once tinder catches, you have maybe a minute before it dies. Feed it slowly. Add kindling gradually. Patience beats force. A dying fire is a waste of tinder and a lesson in desperation. Skill 3. Building shelter that protects you from elements and stays warm. Shelter sounds simple until you're in a downpour with temperature dropping like a stone. A basic shelter blocks 3 things: wind, rain, and cold, radiating from the ground. Location matters first. Don't camp in drainage areas where water pools. Don't camp on ridges where wind shreds everything. Find natural windbreaks. Rock formations, dense trees, anything that slows wind before it hits you. Then build. A basic structure is 2 trees with a branch connecting them. Lean branches against that ridgepole at an angle. Cover it. Leaves, pine needles, bark, anything that layers. Thickness matters. 2 feet of insulation minimum. You're not building a beach hut. You're building something that traps your heat. Crawl inside. It's tight. It's perfect. The smaller the space, the less area heat has to warm. No too convenient trees. Dig. A small depression, banked high with leaves and branches, covered with a lean-to structure keeps you alive. The floor matters. Don't lie on bare ground. Line it with leaves and branches. Conduction steals heat faster than you make it. A shelter done right means the difference between sleeping and hypothermia. Skill 4. Navigation without a compass or GPS by reading the sky and land. Navigation. When your phone dies and compasses break, your eyes and the sky become your tools. The sun is a reliable guide if you understand it. It rises east, sets west. At noon, it points south in the northern hemisphere. At night, find the North Star. The Big Dipper's 2 cup stars point toward it. That line extended will find it. Once you know north, south, east, and west, follow. Best navigation is terrain reading. Valleys run specific directions. Rivers flow toward oceans. Ridge lines form patterns. Learn to notice these patterns. Streams and rivers always flow downhill. Follow them and you'll find lower elevation, more vegetation, eventually civilization or less hostile terrain. The sky at sunrise and sunset gives direction. Wind tells you about weather patterns if you know how to read them. Snow accumulates on lee sides of mountains. These are free information written in the land. Pace counting helps too. Learn to count your steps. If you know how long your stride is, you can estimate distance traveled. Combine this with terrain and you start knowing where you are without devices. Skill 5. Identifying edible plants and recognizing poisonous ones without killing yourself through trial and error. Foraging sounds romantic until you eat something that shuts down your organs. Plant identification takes practice. The safest approach is memorizing a few unmistakably safe plants and avoiding everything else until starvation forces different choices. Dandelions are everywhere and completely edible. Roots, leaves, everything. Pine nuts from cones, acorns, once processed to remove bitter tannins. Berries are tricky. If you don't know it, don't eat it. Shiny berries from pretty plants are often poison. Red berries aren't safe. White berries are usually dangerous. The safest edible berries are ones you've seen animals eating without dying. Mushrooms are a death sentence unless absolutely certain. Even experts poison themselves. Avoid mushrooms. The universal edibility test is slow and requires surviving multiple testing stages. In an actual apocalypse, you don't have time. Learn specific plants. Cattails are edible root to tip. Clover is safe. Plantain is edible and medicinal. Build a mental catalog before you need it. Watch foraging videos now. Memorize pictures. Learn by region because regions matter. What grows in forests doesn't grow in deserts. When hungry and desperate, your brain won't think clearly. Pre-learning saves your life. And that's the truth underneath all of this. These 5 skills, the boring ones in a world of convenience, become the dividing line between survival and becoming part of the landscape. They're not glamorous. They're not going to look good on a video. But when you're thirsty and lost and exhausted and every resource is suddenly gone, you'll reach for these skills like they're oxygen. You'll find water because you know how. You'll make fire because you practiced. You'll build shelter with your hands. You'll navigate by stars because you learned how. You'll eat wild plants because you studied them. And you'll do all of this without power, without help, without anyone coming to rescue you. That's not a superpower. That's just what survival looks like.